Dear friends, we are going through the most difficult times in the planet. What has happened is so unfortunate, and what is going to happen is so unpredictable. The planet is losing its shine. We all are going through tremendous amount of illness. Illness is a state of mind. We all need wellness. In my next few slides, I'll talk about how we can enjoy a state of mind by continuously training our mind in what we call a structured wellness solution. In my journey from illness to wellness, I am Dr. Bose, your respiratory physician, a wellness coach. Will guide you very innovative steps which will make you feel good. It will create a harmony in your system, and you will always feel elated and feel very relaxed and comfortable. So dear friends, if you really want to enjoy wellness, which is a more than subjective state of mind, what we call intrasubjective, it's supramental. So we have to remove the negative thoughts from our mind. We have to do certain catharsis. We have to develop certain good breathing techniques. We at SAANS Foundation, we make you breathe better. If you breathe better, you live longer. Who are a better breather? Better breather is a person who learn to relax, who exhale more, who deep more. When you exhale more, you take more, because our lungs are like slinky, is like a spring ball. If you squeeze more, the ball goes up more. So if you learn to exhale more, if you squeeze your lung more, you inhale more. It's like a suction effect. So always, dear friends, exhale more and be aware of your breath. Don't get panicky, feel relaxed. Stay in your thoughts, stay in that moment. Forget about the past. Don't think about the future, which is not in your hand. And we are there to help you out. And if you are a better breather, you enjoy a sense of enlightenment. You feel blissful. That's my definition of breathe better, live longer. So dear friends, let's understand wellness. Wellness is a 360-degree journey. Everybody has to practice 24/7 a 360-degree phenomena, which involves your physical component, your mental component, the spiritual, the emotional, the social, and the environmental. All components are equally good. If you don't follow all these components uniformly, your brain will not be in harmony. You will always in displeasure. You will not get that sense of being or well-being. If you want to have a sense of well-being, what we call a state of mind which is blissful, you have to follow all these rules, and this is what we call a structured wellness solution. So dear friends, if you really want to understand our wellness circuits, it's very science. It's wellness is a neurological science. From 1990, ever since the neurophysiological science has enhanced, now we are able to map the brain. And it has been found that the arrow which we are showing, this is the front portion of the brain, the frontal cortex, that the front portion of the brain which talks about your personality, the speech, your gait, your confidence. The back portion of the front portion of the brain, what you call the prefrontal gyrus, PFC, it's actually the integrating center for the wellness. There are a lot of hormones are released which integrates. So you have got different inputs coming from different parts of the brain. If you have a little emotional factor, it comes from the amygdala and the limbic system, from the inferior portion of the brain. There's a corticolimbic system which comes from the hippocampal area, which gives you memory. So different lobes and components, whether it's a visual component, the occipital, if you have got some situational or an observational experiences, so it takes input from the occipital. That gives you a kind of illness. If you have an emotional component, so that means it goes from the amygdala and the limbic system, that gives you kind of wellness. So different lobes gives you different kind of displeasure. So by nurturing and training these components of brain through a structured questionnaire, we can give you a wellness solution. So when you understand the neuronal circuits of wellness through electrophysiological study, we can achieve wellness, which is a science, which needs only training the brain. A sustained sense of total well-being, which needs constant brain retraining and practices. So you have to continuously retrain your mind. It's like rewriting. It's like recharging your phone, updating your phone, so that your negative thoughts go out and you get a lot of new inputs and new ideas and new hormones. A complete integration of body, mind and soul, controlled by our neuronal brain circuits. With integration, as I said, in the prefrontal cortex, in short called PFC, is responsible for neurochemical harmony, essential for a state of wellness. So if you want to have a neurochemical harmony, you have to understand this prefrontal cortex, and it is possible to enhance the release of hormone at the prefrontal cortex, so that the inputs from different parts of the brain, based on your experiences, this brain can be retrained to produce more hormones, so that you always feel good and you go in a more than state of mind, what you call interstate phase of the mind. Now, if you really want to practice wellness, the first thing which everybody is important, our body has the physics. The physics has to be very good, the physicality. Everybody should get up in the morning and do some physical exercise, and the most important exercise are aerobic or isotonic exercises. If you push a lot of oxygenation to your system through isotonic exercise like jogging, walking, cross training, stretching, swimming, whatever, when you push your muscles with high cardiac output, that gives you tremendous amount of wellness, because your muscles get extra oxygen. Never do isometric exercises. Isometric exercises are those when you build up bulky muscles, that means you're pushing less oxygen to the tissues. So muscles are always at stress. Go aerobic, go isotonic. Yoga pranayama is a very important. Our SAANS breathing techniques are very useful. We'll talk about it someday. So you have to follow physical wellness. You have to do a lot of stretching of all the group of muscles. All the muscles are in opposites, gravity and anti-gravity. You have to nurture. If you really want to have a very simple way of nurturing your whole system, buy a cross trainer, and this is a very cardiorespiratory, and you can nurture all group of muscles. So physical wellness is more important. Breathing exercise are very important. And let me tell you, our body has got two systems. One is called sympathetic and parasympathetic. This is called autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system creates a balancing system in your body. Sympathetic is when you feel very excited, irritated, disturbed, lack of sleep, restlessness. These are all sympathetic behavior. Parasympathetic is just opposites. You feel relaxed, composed, happy, chilled out, good sleep. So you have to practice certain autonomic nervous system. And let me tell you, the nose which we are showing here, which can help you to create this balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. This is what you call, one nostril is called Surya Nari, the other nostril is called Chandra Nari. One is hot and another is cool. If you do Anulom Vilom or equal breathing techniques, it can really balance your sympathetic and parasympathetic system. So, dear friends, we have to be very sympathetic. We have to move from sympathetic to parasympathetic, because we have to learn to live with this kind of stresses. There will be displeasures, there will be anxiety, there will be stresses, there will be unfortunate things happening around you. There may be, a lot of unpleasant things, but you have to practice in the morning a lot of parasympathetic activities which can counteract those sympathetic. Because if you're sympathetic, you will release more stress hormones, what you call catecholamines, that distresses the body, and the body goes into a kind of war. So physical wellness involves good exercise, good autonomic nervous system nurturing, and of course good nutrition. Your nutrition should have the right proportion of protein, carbohydrate, vitamin, minerals and fibers. This is follow your new pyramid. Every nutrition have all the components, and see to it when you get up in the mornings. In the morning is the time where you spend most of the things. You go to the washroom, you take bath, you go to your workplace, you're thinking. So body needs the maximum balanced nutrition. That's why your breakfast should be very sumptuous. Have a lot of fresh food, lot of veggies, take high proteins, and get up in the morning with some high protein like chana. And if you're not diabetic, you can have a good chana, which is a very important thing which enhances your metabolism, makes you feel good. So your morning should have high proteins. Morning should have a lot of veggies and fruits which is rich in antioxidants and vitamin C, which gives you a lot of antioxidants and supports the body system. And of course, high fibrous carbohydrates, a lot of waters. So have a very sumptuous breakfast and try to have small frequent meals throughout the day. This is of the physical wellness. But physical wellness is not enough for your wellness. This is the starting. That may be around 20-30%. The second most important thing is that each of us has to be mentally well. Mentally well is not your disease. It's how you feel, how you see the bigger picture, how positive you are. It is something like tossing the brain. So you have to move from mindful to mindful. That means you have to learn to clear your mind in the morning. It is something like you delete the data from your unnecessary data from your mobile phone and the computer. It's something like emptying your recycle bin. Keep your hard disk empty. So mindful techniques are very important, and this is only possible when you get up in the morning and practice some. Feel your breath and focus your mind at the third eye. Locate a word in your mind which is dear to you. You don't have to chant it. Feel a word which is dear to you and feel the breath at the level of your nose. When you breathe in, it's cool. When you breathe out, it's warm. And through these techniques, you can create an harmony. Now, in mental wellness, what we do is that there's a very important technique which we do it in our foundation, which is called cognitive behavioral therapy. The cognitive behavioral therapy works on the principle thought, behavior, emotions are interlinked. So if your thought are disturbed, your emotion gets haywire, and your emotions, your behavior. So everything is your thought, emotion. How you think, that is how you behave. So by cognitive behavioral therapy, we change your thought through a structured program that makes you feel emotionally good, and your behavior improves and you become more parasympathetic. So cognitive behavioral therapy is a method of making yourself much more parasympathetic. It's something you can do a lot of autocognitive therapy. Think positive. Don't go back to the past. Don't go into the future. Cognitive behavioral therapy works on the principle of staying in that moment. So you have to follow that moment and keep changing your thoughts so that you feel good. Then comes, and this is what we are showing, the cognitive behavioral therapy. Negative thoughts, upset feelings, and unable behavior. There's a vicious cycle. So situation, what triggers the problem? Then creates a thought. Thought creates an emotional disturbances. Emotional gives us a behavioral dysfunction, and behavior gives you a physical reaction. The situational trigger. That means what triggers the problem? Like you are criticized at work, so that creates a negative thoughts, and thought gives emotions to behavior, and that is how you start feeling sympathetic. So cognitive is basically a reversal technique so that you become more parasympathetic, you feel chilled out, you be rational. Then of course, so once you had mentally good, once you see the bigger picture, if you are physically taking care of yourselves, you're enhancing your immune system, then a very important component, the next level of wellness, is emotional wellness. This is the most important thing in this part of the time. We are emotionally disturbed. We are feeling down. So emotional wellness is something, emotion, it's very dynamic. You have to keep emotionally, and that's why I'm saying the limbic system, the amygdala, these are the areas, releases a lot of negative hormones. You have to be emotionally good. You have to nurture yourself. You have to have a positive attitude, high self-esteem, a strong sense of self, and the ability to recognize and share a wide range of feelings with others in a very constructive way. So you have to need a lot of emotional, support, and which is only possible by a technique called rational emotive behavioral therapy. This is REBT. This is a very interesting technique. If you're emotionally repressed, you're not able to control, or you're not able to be expressive, the balance between repressed and expressive emotion, then taking care of emotional view, the technique which we follow is REBT or rational emotive behavioral therapy. So rational behavioral therapy works on the principle there's an activating event or adversity which works on your beliefs. Like for example, if you think that, for example, I'll give you a situation that means if somebody has gone into a divorce, and if your belief say the divorce is so bad that it is as good as ending your life, so that means you start thinking negative about it. It all works on the principle of belief about the event. If you believe about the event is very detrimental, you always go into a very precipitous state of mind. So A gives to B works on the principle of belief, which causes C gives you an emotional experience, and that leads to D, the disputations to challenge the irrational beliefs. That means you keep challenging the irrational beliefs. You start believing those irrational, and that is E comes effective new beliefs, and you replace your irrational. So that means you start believing your irrational thought, which is detrimental, that it is going to harm you. So you start feeling negative about it. Through REBT, we can change the activating factor triggering your belief. So by changing the belief, giving you a kind of thought, behavior, and emotional techniques, we can help you emotionally better. And this is also very scientific, because that ultimately changes the behavior of your limbic system, which I showed you in the neuronal circuit, helps you to release more hormones to the prefrontal cortex, and you feel good. Then comes a very important person, because we are in a closed space now. The environmental wellness, the most important, your personal environment, being aware of the nature, immediate nature, your environment, your immediate surroundings. So it involves a lot of protecting the biodiversity, bring a lot of green, do nurture, follow the Vastu science, works on the principle of flow of energy, and it has been found if you nurture biodiversity, if you bring a lot of green in your system, you get this positive energy, because these living beings, the green gives you a lot of positive energy because it's very symbiotic, because the oxygen released from the greens help you to feel good. Then also we use a lot of movement of the environmental space, what you call the Vastu science, and also how you sit, how you work, what distance you follow from your monitor. This is called ergonomic science. So it's environmental wellness is a function of nurturing biodiversity, ergonomics, and Vastu science. It's a very interesting permanent. So, and everybody has their own wellness area, own wellness ecosystem. You have to nurture that core to help you to feel good about it. So, dear friends, once you achieve the environmental wellness by nurturing biodiversity through ergonomics and wellness solutions, then comes the most important, the social wellness. Social wellness is a very important. It talks about your emotional intelligence, self-confidence, self-talk, problem solving, social skill, rational aspects, conflict management, effective. That means overall how you connect yourself with the other systems, and how you connect your core with another core, and how you can resonate with your core with the people around you. And that needs a lifestyle experiences. It needs a lot of self-talking. It needs introspection, self-compassion. And this is possible by a technique called logical behavioral therapy, LBT. So this is a technique we are using it. It's also a kind of philosophical counseling which will help you to enhance your social wellness. And once you enhance your social wellness, then comes the last 20-30%. And if you can achieve it, that gives you a state of wellness. That is a spiritual wellness. Spiritual means finding the meaning in life, the events, demonstrate individual purpose, live a life that reflects your values. And that means you have to follow your core. You have to create a balancing system. Everything is not possible. You have to have moderate expectations. You have to be self-compassionate. And you have to create an art of parking. That means you have to park yourself. That, everything is not possible. It's something like you buy a new car and keep it on the road. You will always feel restless. Somebody will pick up the car. Somebody will steal the car. But when you keep in the garage, you don't feel about it. It's something like parking. You park into your system in some kind of belief. And the best way of parking is your cosmos. Cosmic cleansing, or what we call the cosmic way of connecting, is a huge way of getting spiritual wellness. We use cosmic techniques, sun salutation techniques, mudras and chakras. This word which is very primordial. This is 3 sound, AUM. This causes oscillation of your internal system resonating with the celestial bodies, which is a very unique way you can oscillate with infinity, the cosmos. That gives you a tremendous amount of release and wellness. So we are using cosmic signs, mudra, chakras, guided meditations to make you feel good. So dear friends, if you want to practice wellness, you have to nurture yourself, you have to train your brain, you have to rewrite, you have to keep recharging your brain, you have to delete the negative thoughts. It's something like upgrading your phone and your computer, and you have to practice it 360-degree, which involve the physical, the mental, the emotional, the environmental, the spiritual, social, and the spiritual components. And if you follow these structured programs, you will be very elated, you will feel good, and you will be able to take those challenges. Listen, dear friends, you cannot change, you cannot stop the wind. Strong winds are there all over. Only thing, you have to put sails to change the direction of the wind. So wellness practice is something like putting a sail, nurturing your brain, training your brain so that you can change the direction of the wind. So dear friends, if you need any kind of help, if you want to join our wellness solutions, our therapist, our psychologist, our whole team is working on it. We are getting amazing results, and we believe that reversal of chronic disease are possible. A journey of illness to wellness is possible if you get connected, if you talk, if you follow this structured wellness solutions. The wellness as a solution is possible. So we are here at SAANS Foundation. We train wellness coach. We are big time into wellness solutions, and I think everybody has to practice wellness solution for optimum happiness and peace. Thank you. Take care and stay blessed.